All right, so here's a good video on really explaining what the hell is going down at the border. We're being invaded by other countries, specifically China. They're sending their young men here to militarize, and God knows what they have in store for us. God knows what they have to plan. It's something strategic. It's not going to be in your face. It's China. They're very passive and sneaky. So let's watch this and see what this guy uncovers. I'll put the link in the description and credit to this guy for his video.
Se está volviendo un poco más popular, por lo que le digo de Joe Biden, que está permitiendo el ingreso de los inmigrantes.
This is a birth certificate from somebody from China.
How do they leave China? Some of them will say, I go, where are you going? To camp. I go to camp, that they're here to be militarized and not for us, against us.
Jacumba, California, a small town on the border where thousands, if not millions of migrants have crossed into the United States illegally in the past few years. It is a location where I have personally seen the cartel drop off migrants and is the #1 location where Chinese migrants are entering into America. In this video, I will take you with me as we find the new secret spots where migrants are coming into America. I will confront suspicious NGO workers. A woman who lives on the border will reveal potential plans of these Chinese migrants, and I will speak with the mayor of one of the major cities here in California who is being affected by the crisis the most. And now it's time to go boots on the ground to try and understand what the heck is happening here inside the United States. And right here is one of the most prime spots for migrants to cross over to come into the United States. However, the Mexican government, not the United States government, has now set up razor wire here so that migrants cannot cross over. And actually, on the other side of this fence, the Mexican government has set up their own
because the United States can't put up their own blockades. That's how much
dropping people off.
That's how much this administration don't care about the border. They won't even put up a little blockade. Mexico has to do it. It's pathetic.
Here into the United States. I do find it a little bit ironic that the Mexican government has set up their own camp right next to the border. Meanwhile, the United States is just letting anybody come in, and they're not putting anybody right here at this main crossing point. However, there are still people crossing over here into the border, and because the Mexican government blocked off this entry point, we headed up to a higher vantage point to try and find new entry. We got an overview right here. We got a bird's eye view of the valley. We're not seeing anybody. There's a helicopter going, which means there are people coming across the border right now, so we're trying to find where these people are coming over. We have found one of the main entry spots where they're coming in. And why do we know that it's a main entry spot? Because right here, there's a huge gap in between the barbed wire and there are blankets, which means that is a spot where they're coming over and they're hopping over the fence. They're literally getting a rope or some sort of thing and they're hopping right on over into America. Something very strange about this spot right here is we are finding lots of documentation such as passports and birth certificates, just like this one right here. This is a birth certificate from somebody from China. This has all the documentation for another person from China, and this person was born in 1984, and she is from the Republic.
What's going on? Let it freeze.
Documentation for another person from China, and this person was born in 1984, and she is from the Republic of China. This person looks like it's another person from some part in Southeast Asia, and there are just tons of garbage and other stuff on this other side of the border, along with all of the garbage here on the United States side. A little strange what's happening here on the southern border. We're still trying to find.
They claim to care about the environment, but then they let this happen. The jokes. The American federal government hates you and wants you to die and replace you with these people coming over. If you don't see it, then you're just so far gone and your brain is so rotted that you're just cooked. You're just done.
Find migrants are coming over, and we will find them soon. No cartel drop-offs were happening at that location, and a Border Patrol agent told us to go to a different road in the middle of the desert. So we're driving down this road, and look, we found a whole group of migrants have just came in. And as we entered, there was already 2 cars that were already there. Keep these cars in mind because we come back and confront them in just a few moments. We got 1, 2, 3 different groups. What country?
From Jordan, yes.
Why'd you come to America?
America beautiful.
And where are they from? China?
We're trying to keep it that way.
China.
China.
Yeah. ¿De dónde son ustedes? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevan aquí afuera? Wow, ¿cuánto tiempo llevan aquí esperando?
Ni idea.
¿Dónde entraron ustedes?
Es que no sé por qué camino llegamos.
Como entra por allí or como? En serio? I tried to ask these migrants where they entered in from, however, nobody would speak to me and their answers were very, very short. All right, so there's legit 3 groups. We got the people from Asia, South America, and now I don't know where these people are from. However, everyone is covering up their faces because some NGO that is here right now told them not to speak to me. A little weird. Speak English? All of the migrants covered their faces, and some even put their hands up to try and block my camera. And some even demanded for me to stop filming. So nobody's wanting to speak right now. Somebody told them, the lady here, told them not to speak to anybody, and she's in a car, and she looks happy as can be as she's protecting the people that came in this country illegally. She's got a big old smirk on her face. We're gonna go talk to her. How's it going? Who do you guys work with? Why so?
I just don't really want to talk to you guys, that's all.
And why? We're just trying to understand what's going on. So do you guys work with an NGO? Do you guys are just coming out here to help people?
Just, helping humans.
How long have you guys been coming out here for?
I mean, I've been out here for about like 7-8 months now.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I've seen you before though.
And have you seen like a big shift on what's happening with the migrants? Because before they were going over to Tacoma, now they're coming over here.
I mean, they're coming all over around the southern border.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And does this guy work with you?
Yeah, it's my friend.
Oh, cool. Are you guys working on a documentary?
No.
And what's the camera for? If you don't mind me
He
asking.
just wants to film.
Cool.
I mean, same thing with you guys,
Yeah.
He's got a little bit more fancy of a setup.
Yeah, he's got a bit more of a fancy of a setup.
You got your microphone and everything,
Mm-hmm. And so like, since you've been coming out here for 7 months, and it's probably been treated like a job, do you get paid to come out here and do this?
No, I'm just a person that wants to help people.
Really? Like, do you believe it's right for these people to be coming over?
She should be arrested. She should be arrested for not reporting this and helping people come into the country illegally. She's doing it for 7 or 8 months. How is she not in prison? How is she not in prison? She needs to go to prison for breaking the laws of the United States of America. And she needs to go to prison for a very long time. What she is doing is human trafficking. She is smuggling people across international borders illegally. That is human trafficking. She should be sent to prison for 10 plus years.
And then do you know like
I said, I don't really care to engage with you guys.
So once these people cross the border and they are here, and then do you know what happens to their lives after they cross the border? Like what you're helping facilitate?
I mean, I don't really understand why this question is being asked. No, these people are, going to their families, their friends here in America. That's the most that I know and the most that I need to know. I don't really ask much beyond it, besides obviously this isn't cool. No one should be stuck in this heat without food, water. Thankfully there's some tarps, they've been put up in a porta potty.
Does it worry you that potentially bad people could be coming over and that we're...
None of these people are bad.
Really, you don't think a single person of these people...
What an
I've never had a
idiot.
bad
She's an
experience with a migrant.
idiot.
And it seemed like every time we asked another question, she got more and more worried, and then I eventually wanted to ask her cameraman some questions because he was filming me. All right, so this guy right here, he's filming me. I'm trying to ask him a few questions about what he's doing. So where's this film gonna go? I kept asking this guy questions as he videotaped me and my mother, and as I asked him questions, he would not answer anything, and meanwhile, Border Patrol showed up. Why won't you respond to any questions? The lady over there, she gave me very bad vibes, not gonna lie. She wasn't speaking to me, she wasn't giving me any responses. She's protecting these people that are coming over here illegally. All right, they're taking care of the woman first. We got the Border Patrol coming through. They're putting the luggage right up front, just like a first-class service here. It's valet service here at
Disgusting.
this encampment here in the middle of California. They loaded the majority of the migrants up, and we went to find where the migrants are coming in at. And we met a lady whose backyard is literally the
They should
border,
be
and she
pepper
shared some
sprayed and
extremely
sprayed with
shocking and
fire
scary
hoses.
information about the
Told her to
current
go back.
crisis, especially with the Chinese migrants. So is every single day, are there migrants coming through your yard?
Every day, about 3 a.m. every single night. They come down that hill, all the way around. They go through our property, and then they come right here. The other night they started a fire right there, and then they yelled at our window, "Hello, hello," till they woke us, make sure they wake us up.
Shoot them.
Really? And are they expecting you guys to help them when they cross over?
They want us to help them. They don't, and then when we tell them to go up the road, the best we can, they don't believe us, so they'll go for a little ways, and they'll turn around and come back. So this goes on all night. So actually, I am so tired. Every night, they're a nuisance, and the Border Patrol is not stopping them. They're actually, if we say anything like, you can't come to this area, we can get in trouble. They have even told us they would arrest us if we hindered these migrants.
See, this federal government They hate you. They want you dead. They want you in prison. They want to replace you. Democrats hate you. They hate America. They hate your family. They want you to die. They want your family to die. They want your children to die. They want everything to die. They fucking hate you with every passion that they have. The only passion they have in life is hating you, the citizen. They fucking loathe you. They would kill you themselves if they could.
If we showed them any guns, which we don't do that because they're just people, that they would confiscate our guns. They would take our property. They have harassed
Violation
us.
of the Second Amendment.
And not
They don't care about the
migrants.
Constitution.
Migrants come through here, and they have come through and flipping us off, and taking pictures and
Shoot
what
them.
have you, or trying to get, or even asked me if they could have my password so they could get on the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
They even asked for your Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
And does the government do anything to protect you guys, or does it sound like they're protecting the migrants more than anything?
Oh, they're protecting the migrants. They don't help us at all. They've told us that they will arrest us, and if we try to help the migrants, which sometimes you feel sorry for them. They got little bitty kids, a lot of children, and one day it was super hot out here, and so we gave them a little ride up the road. And they told us if we did that again, they would arrest us.
Really?
So we can't help them, but we can't send them back either. Our hands are tied. The Border Patrol's hands are tied.
So do you think the Border Patrol's getting their orders from above? Because if...
Absolutely. They took an oath to protect and serve.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that. They're not doing their job. They're
Right.
doing somebody else's bidding. That they're afraid to lose their jobs. That's
Who
their
cares?
job.
Do the right thing.
And if they don't do what
Quit
they're
following
told
orders like
by
some
their
kind of
superiors,
fucking
because they're not
pansy.
making the decisions, they can't.
So the Border Patrol's just
Sure they
following
can.
orders by saying that.
Absolutely.
And it's the people
They're
up
just-
top.
They
that are
control the
saying, hey,
equipment.
It has
They
to
have
be.
all
protect
the
the
equipment
migrants.
at their
And these people
disposal.
come through they've offered us money, and they've got wads of American money in their wallets.
Really, the migrants?
The migrants, American dollars. We have found foreign money all over the property, from Turkey, Vietnam, all over the world. But how they leave China, because a lot of them are Chinese, the last few days, how can hundreds and hundreds of them leave China? It's a communist country. Their people don't just get visas like Americans do, like Americans go wherever they want to. That doesn't happen in other countries. In other countries, they are stopped. They've got to have a reason for leaving the country. They don't just they've got to be coming over in a plane because they're not walking here. How do they leave China?
So on the other side of your property, is it mountain or is there the border wall as well?
It's the border wall.
Border wall, and
Yeah.
they're somehow coming through the border wall and
Well,
then
there's
they
a
get
great
in
big gap. It's about a mile long. If you go up here, you can see it.
Do you ever see any cartel members guiding them?
I think sometimes there's a mule, but it's hard to tell because the person will look different than the rest of the group. Like that person doesn't belong with the group. But for the most part, these, what are they, some kind of workers that are funded by some church groups or whatever, they put ribbons up and things along the way. And then if you look you'll see clothes that they just throw, suitcases.
Terrible.
What do you think the purposes of these NGOs helping all these migrants once they come over?
Well, because they're going to give them citizenship. When they get citizenship, they can vote. That could be the only reason.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. They want them to vote. They're going to vote for Democrats, and Democrats can assume all power forever and never lose it, no matter what they do. They could go from street to street shooting everybody they see, and it wouldn't make a fucking difference. It wouldn't make any fucking difference. That's exactly their plan. And if you don't think so, you're a fucking idiot. And you need to wake the fuck up, because you're next. Think they fucking care about you? They don't fucking care about you. They hate you. They want you to die.
Or they're here. Some of them will say, I go, where are you going? To camp. I go to camp. The only thing it means to me when they say they're going to camp would be like a military camp where they're going to be, they're of military age between 19 and 34, young men.
Really? So you think there could be like other camps where the migrants are
two,
coming in?
yeah.
Like, is that especially the Chinese people where they're coming in? Because you don't see the Chinese people inside the shelters, and they're telling you they are going to camp.
You're going to camp. And I go, where's camp? San Francisco. Where's camp? Los Angeles. So that's the only thing I can figure, that they're here to be militarized and not for us, against us.
Wow, so there could be troops here that are in other governments that are here inside the United States right now.
Oh, I'm sure there are. How many getaways have they gotten?
So a lot of Americans, they see what's going on in the news. However, they're not experiencing it like you are right here on your camp, literally next to the border.
I have film of it, of them going through here. But, you know, I got time to sit here every day filming this stuff. I'm not the news people. But if somebody wants to come here and film it, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's perfect time. But sometimes I think they get word because they'll see, like, we'll tell them, oh, they come through here at 3 o'clock in the morning, about 200-300 of them. The news people will stand out and sit out here for days and nothing will happen. And
Really?
then
So do you think that the NGOs that are welcoming them over there are talking to the cartels on the other side?
somebody is, yeah. They have to be. There's no other way. They know not to come through whenever the Magnolia and JLR, I don't know if you know who they are. They sat here for 2 days. CNN camped on here for a couple of days and nothing happened. Then the minute they left, here it comes again.
Yeah. We were talking to some of the NGO people over there, had no American flags. They were wearing Palestinian gear, and they were, I would like to say they were like anti-American because they're getting mad at us for even just trying to talk to the people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you're saying, they're talking to the cartel on the other side, welcoming these people in, giving them
They
waters,
are.
giving them food, giving them everything they need.
Yeah, a lot. And then the monies they're getting, because where do they get that money? They're not exchanging it in Tijuana.
To all the Americans that are going to be watching this video, what would be your message to them since you are right here at the hot spot of the migrant crisis?
We need to stand up. We need to stand up and make the right votes and be a voice, because we're not being a voice. We're just following and saying, okay, that's fine. Well, what do we do? As an individual, you can't. You can only do it as a group. And if you say anything like that, then you're a rebel and possible a terrorist and a white supremacist and whatever other names they call us, just because we want our America. It's not. We don't want it back. We want it to be America. Our rituals, our Christian beliefs, not. And they do have a right to their religion. We don't care about that. That's fine and dandy. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but don't infringe on my beliefs, and don't encroach on my properties and take my. Well, just take Chicago, for instance. All those people that live in the ghetto get nothing. Now they're bringing in these people, taking the kids out of the schools and putting these illegals in the schools.
This is true, by the way.
Housing them, emptying beautiful hotels and housing these people, which I don't want them I don't want them to be cold. I don't want them to be hungry. But the taxpayers can't afford it. And if you're paying taxes, and a lot of people say, well, it's not my money. Yes, it is. The federal government has no money. We are the government. We, the people, are the government, not the people that work for us. Biden works for us. He's not our boss. All of the people in Congress work for us.
Yep.
But they've changed it around. We started working for them. And all of our money, they're rich. They are filthy rich. So they don't live like this.
Nope.
They don't live paycheck to paycheck. They don't live with paying utilities. They probably don't even really know the cost of gas or the price of a loaf of bread, because they don't buy that stuff. They have somebody do it for them on the taxpayer dollar. That's who pays for it. It all goes down to the consumer.
Thank you so much for your time. And if you enjoyed this conversation with this lady, please share this, because what she's saying needs to be shared. So share this video, give it a like, comment down below, because what she is saying is the truth and the word needs to get out. The lady I just interviewed gave us permission to go up her property where the migrants are coming in. So now we're going to be hiking up the mountain and through the way to our way to the border to see if we can find some migrants coming over. And we got a little peacock hanging out with us right now. He's going to lead the way. Lead us the way, Marty.
I love
and here along
peacocks.
the
They're
trail,
so
there's
beautiful.
tons of medicine. You can find it literally anywhere here on the trail. And the scary thing is with medicine, you don't really know what is being brought over, especially if it is from a foreign country. And a lot of people are saying that a lot of drugs and such are being smuggled over here across the border.
There's a lot of packages like this that have all sorts of medicine in them. So you wonder, well, who's packaging all these pills for them? There's medicine littered all over the border, and we know that a lot of these migrants are bringing in drugs that are being smuggled over the border.
This is the border line to go into Mexico. So if we cross this, we'd be in Mexico right now. I do not feel like getting in cartel land right now, so we're gonna stay right here. Obviously here you can tell that this is an entry point. There's tons and tons.
How weak is that? Why isn't there a big, beautiful 100-foot wall? Yes, it should be 100 foot. 30 feet's not enough. Why isn't there a big, beautiful 100-foot wall?
tons of footprints.
Because they
and
don't
as
care
well
about
as
you.
there's a bunch of
They don't care.
other items that people have left on the Mexican side in order to come here to the United States. Right here we have found some debit cards from China. We found some plane tickets and a ripped up passport, literally sliced in half. You can see passport right there. And right here is the plane ticket. He flew into Cancun. And then from Cancun, he went to Tijuana. We waited for hours at this location, however, no migrants came. Is it a coincidence that no migrants came, especially after what the lady had just told us? I will let you decide. We drove back to the encampment in the desert and found a Chinese migrant that was left behind. Are you waiting for the police? Police? Okay. And where are you going? It was very obvious that this Chinese migrant was very stressed out, and at this time when I asked him where he was going, he pulled out a paper from his bag. Interesting. This paper had step-by-step directions about where to go and what to do once you cross the border, and it even had information about an interview a migrant must pass in order to stay in the United States. It literally explained everything. And while we were with the Chinese migrant, the cartel dropped off another load of migrants on the other side of the border about a mile down from where we were at. Is it a coincidence that the cartel somehow knew to drop migrants off at a location that we were not at? I don't know. Once again, you tell me. Entonces, ¿cuánto tiempo usted lleva aquí esperando aquí en este campamento?
Horas ya. Como 5 horas.
Oh, wow. ¿Y dónde son ustedes?
Colombia.
De Colombia. ¿Y cuánto tiempo lleva caminando o llegando aquí?
Llevamos más o menos una semana.
Una semana. Oh, entonces lo hicieron muy rápido.
Sí, nos vinimos en un vuelo.
¿Cuántos vuelos tenían que tomar hasta llegar aquí?
Tomamos Bogotá-Cancún, Cancún-Ciudad de México, Ciudad de México-Tijuana.
¿Y los carteles les llevaron hasta aquí? Wow. ¿Y cuánto tenían que pagar a los carteles?
A nosotros nos va yendo como 14 millones, ¿no?
¿Y qué son sus planes entonces ahora?
Sé todavía. Toca esperar a ver lo que nos detenga el destino porque uno no puede decir, planear muchas cosas hasta que no ver.
¿Qué vas a hacer ahora aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Los planes los da ellos, nadie más.
¿Cómo saben por dónde van a vivir en una semana?
No sabemos.
A lot of people here have said they don't really have a plan on what they're going to do. They say, well, we're going to do whatever God tells us to do. Do you guys also have that same mentality? ¿También tienen esta misma mentalidad?
Sí, yo creo que la mayoría encomendamos todo en las manos de Dios. Es como, no sé, nuestra esperanza.
And what are the people in Colombia saying about Joe Biden?
La verdad, solo se escucha los casos migratorios, no se escucha bien el sistema político de Estados Unidos, sino la mayoría de gente del exterior solo está pendiente del caso migratorio. Por ejemplo, si Joe Biden abre las puertas a los inmigrantes o si Trump las cierra.
And so they're saying that Joe Biden is leaving the door open while Trump is going to close it.
Sí, es como de que Joe Biden le está dando la oportunidad a los inmigrantes de buscar un mejor futuro para sus familias. En cambio, Trump no quiere aceptar eso.
Hoy día tienen que pagar a alguien para cruzar la frontera.
Sí, pero no dan el nombre en concreto de la persona. O sea, no nos dicen quiénes son ni qué hacen. Solo llegaron personas encapuchadas y nos dijeron, allí hay una escalera, nosotros lo llevamos y de ahí ya no sabemos.
Was it easier or was it a lot harder than you guys thought to get here?
Fue difícil, no sé, cuando uno emprende este viaje, la expectativa no es tan de cosas tan traumáticas, ¿sí? Porque cuando estábamos en el tren incluso pasó los carteles alumbrándonos a la cara con metralletas y pues puede ser una situación un poco que trauma psicológicamente. No sé, cuando yo salí de Colombia pensaba que era más fácil.
There in Colombia, is it kind of like the most popular thing to do right now is to come to the United States?
Se está volviendo un poco más popular, por lo que le digo de Joe Biden, que está permitiendo el ingreso de los inmigrantes.
And also a group of migrants have painted the wall here with Colombian colors. Keep in mind, this is in the United States, and now they are marking their own territory here in the United States, putting their Colombian flag right on the border. Rhiannon, Juanita, Sebas, y Lorena have all came across the border today. We went to the spot where the migrants had crossed over, and sure enough, the ladders were right there. There are literally ladders right here hanging up. These ladders are legit made by rebar and are being used to cross the border, and they're just sitting right here. As the sun went down, the Mexican military came to the border wall and had a chance to speak with them through the wall. And now Mexico military is right here. We just tried to talk to them to the wall. They weren't really saying much. However, I did say, is this where the cartel comes? And they gave me a little head nod. So they came to investigate this spot right here because it's obviously a high trafficking spot for the cartels. From the border, I went to meet with the mayor of a city a few miles away from the border to see how the migrant crisis is affecting his city and his civilians.
I highly suggest paying close attention as a lot of this information will surprise you.
Okay, and here in San Diego County, we're seeing a lot of stuff happening here at the border. And you guys being a border town, how is it affecting the city here?
Since October, we've had over 250,000 drop-offs in San Diego, these street releases.
So a lot of the funds and a lot of taxpayer dollars are going to fund a lot of the immigration and the homeless crisis, would you say here?
Oh, absolutely. The County of San Diego already spent $6 million on a migrant welcome center, which I'm not sure why we need that, but they've just allocated another $19 million for that. But, you know, there are also costs that you don't.
Using your tax dollars to human traffic, funnel in illegals, breaking federal law knowingly. They should be arrested and put in prison 10 plus years for human trafficking. They're criminals, not politicians.
Don't see. You know, everybody that comes across, whether they're a citizen or not, is entitled to full health care. And that even includes having sex change operations. But that's an expense for the whole family. People that come over with kids are put up in hotels. Those hotels costs $8,000 to $10,000 per month, and that's paid for by the city. Now there's a bill in California that says that if you're an illegal alien, you can get free college tuition, even a 20% down on a house. These are things that American citizens are not getting.
And
so
why are these people getting it and American citizens are not getting those benefits?
I mean, I think the main reason is in California, you have a supermajority of Democrats in the legislature. That means that Republicans have absolutely no say. There are a lot of Republicans in California, but the big cities, the big population centers, overwhelm the rest of the state of California and send nothing but Democrats to the legislature, who then make these kind of, most of us think, insane laws.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like your hands are tied as being the mayor here with trying to run the city and use the funds and allocate them in a safe place while federal government and it sounds like Gavin Newsom is giving out all these freebies to all these migrants?
Well, absolutely. It's by design, because normally if there were any kind of a crisis that were happening, we would have coordination between the local government and the federal government and the state government. But we have absolutely no communication with anybody from the feds. They won't tell us when people are coming or how many are coming or why they're coming. Our police officers, by law, aren't even allowed to have a discussion with the Border Patrol or any ICE enforcement. So it's...
Are you convinced yet? They're doing it on purpose. They hate you. They're making it illegal to report crimes. Like, what? Our border should be protected by the United States military night and day, 24/7. Helicopters, drones, gas bombs, the whole 9 yards. Everything.
It's not by accident. They don't want us involved. They don't want us stopping the process, because the whole idea is to have a free-flowing border.
And why would they want to have a free-flowing border?
Well, I mean, a lot of people argue about that. I think that the main reason is that by flooding more people into the country, they're going to go to population centers with a high Democrat presence. Places like San Diego, Chicago, New York. When that happens, if they get counted in the 2030 census, more congressional seats will be allocated as a result of that. And when more congressional seats are allocated in dark blue areas, then those dark blue areas will elect dark blue candidates that will go to Washington and then overwhelm federal House of Representatives like it has the state houses.
That's right.
Okay, so maybe they may not be able to vote. However, with them being there, they're able to raise the numbers of electoral votes in their areas, or
I think that's what we're talking about. Congressional seats.
Congressional seats.
And then they'll control the government forever.
Right now, it's affecting us a lot.
Exactly it.
However, in
That's exactly it. He just explained it very, very well there. It's exactly what they're trying to do. And if you don't think that's what they're doing, then like I said before, you're a fucking moron who's got brain rot. And you're way too far gone to even be walking, honestly. I don't even know how you survive in life with a brain that doesn't work. I don't understand how people like that even survive.
2030, when that census comes through, that's when we're really going to see the effect of what
That's when people are going to wake up and say, well, how did this happen? You may have seen a report I did earlier where I showed hundreds of document cards from China. And we're not in a friendly position with China. Our country is in some kind of a cold war with China. And they're flooding the country with young military-age men. I don't know why they're here. I don't know why they need to come from China. It seems to have lots of jobs in China. They're manufacturing a lot. Why do they need to come to America? And I think the answer is some of that is people are being brought over to be embedded into our culture, that they can be activated whenever needed. If China needs people to go in and attack individuals, attack groups, attack the water system, attack the electrical grid, commit industrial espionage. The problem is we don't know. And it seems like our federal government is playing very fast and loose. Crazy.
Yeah, and where are these Chinese people going after they cross the border?
Well, we don't know.
Is there anybody that's tracking them to see where they are going?
Not that anybody will tell us. I mean, it's possible that there's... when they get picked up by the Border Patrol, they get taken down to the trolley stations in San Diego. When they're dropped off at the trolley stations, then they're picked up by NGOs and non-governmental organizations, people who get paid to disperse them. And then, they're taken off in all different directions. They're very secretive. They won't tell us where they're going. They won't tell us, what their purpose is. And then they just kind of disappear into the landscape. So, I think that there's something to be concerned about.
Interesting. And these NGOs, is there any ongoing investigations with NGOs working with other sides of the people on the other side of the border?
Like cartels?
With cartels?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of talk about it.
Is there any ongoing investigations? Because yesterday we were at the border, we showed up, there's 2 people there, they're extremely hostile with us, they're not nice. And then once we were there, no more migrants came in through that area for the rest of the day, and they went over to another area.
Yeah, well, I believe that they're in coordination with the cartels. But the Biden administration is in coordination with the cartels. I know that sounds a little out there, but I think this is serving the Biden administration's purposes. I think they want an open border. I think they want the country flooded with what we believe is almost 20 million people.
More than that.
I think they have their own reasons for it, and none of them are good for America. And the more people like you that are asking questions, the more problematic it is. And so they don't want you asking questions. They certainly don't want me asking questions either. You would think that as the mayor of a city, that I would have direct access to the people making these decisions. They could at least explain what's going on. Silence.
Wow, there's a lot of information to digest from this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe.
All right, go give him a subscribe. Wow. Let's back this up here. I'll back this up to a certain point here. All right, I can't find it, but whatever. Oh boy. Well, there it is, man. There it is. It's all done on purpose, man. If you can't understand it, this video laid it out perfectly. I mean, if you can't understand it, then you're too brainwashed with Stockholm Syndrome, quite frankly. Wow. This federal government hates you. Democrats hate you. Like I said, if Democrats could kill American citizens one by one, they would. They would totally Holocaust everybody if they absolutely could. That's what they want. I mean, effectively, that's what they're doing. They don't like you. They want your family to die. Democrats want you to die. They want you to stop existing. That's what they want. And they're not going to stop until they get it. You got to elect Trump. Whether you hate him or not, I don't give a fuck about his personality. I don't give a shit. It needs to be stopped, and somebody needs to stop it. Or else we're just dead as a nation. We're just dead. Leave a comment, like, stop being a loser, stop being lazy, speak up. If you don't speak up, you're complicit. It's simple as that. You are complicit if you stay silent.